I get a lot of questions and comments about my Death Star shelf, so let's talk about how I put it together. Hey guys, it's Jedi Lex, and welcome back to my channel. My Death Star shelf has become an iconic piece in my collection, and I've gotten many comments, compliments, and questions about it, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about how I made it. At the beginning of June 2022, my collection was getting very out of hand. At the time, I was storing my Funko Pops under my Lego shelf, as you can see here, and it was quickly filling up and I was running out of space. I wanted to come up with a great way to display my Funko Pops because the wall behind me was blank at the time, and I really wanted to create something that would fill that space. And while on Reddit, I came across this post, and I decided that I needed to make a version of it for myself. First, I had to go to Home Depot to pick up the supplies for this project, so I ended up grabbing 2 pieces of plywood that are each 1/4 inch thick and wide enough to cover the space that I wanted. I also grabbed some wooden planks that were about 1.5 inches thick and about 4 inches wide, so that way they could fit my Funko Pops in box and out of box. Once I had all of my supplies, it was now time to go home and measure and then trace out how I wanted my Death Star to look on the pieces of plywood. Once I was happy with my trace, I had my dad help me cut it out so that way it would look really nice. The next step was then take the wooden planks that I had gotten and kind of space them out so that way I could see where I wanted my shelves. And I made sure that in between each shelf I left enough space that I could hold the Funko Pop boxes. However, if you don't plan on keeping them in the box, you can always decrease it so you can fit more shelves on there. It's really your preference. That's just how I did it. And once I was happy with the spacing, we then cut out the pieces of wood so that way the shelves would be flush against each side of the Death Star. Once I was happy with all of the cuts on the plywood as well as the wooden shelves, it was time to put it all together. We had some extra pieces of wood lying around, so we used those to kind of brace all of the pieces together, as well as some screws and washers, of course. And the next task was how we were going to hang it on the wall. So what we decided to do with some of the extra wood that we still had was to cut them at an angle, so that way we would put 2 pieces onto the board and then 2 pieces on my wall, and that way the angles would kind of connect and it would sit flushly against my wall and be really secure. Then, when we were happy with it structurally, it was time to paint it, and as you can see, I painted it black. I had to do several coats of black paint. Then, once it was dry, it was time to apply the LED lights. I got a 16-foot strip off of Amazon, which it looks like it's not currently available at this time. However, I used a staple gun to hold them in place, and I made sure that the staples were small enough that they weren't going to puncture through the thin plywood. And I kind of just started, and I worked my way around until I used all 16 feet of it, and I tried to get it all nice and into the crevices so that way it would light evenly. And then once I was done with the LED lights and the paint, it was time to hang it on my wall. Once we got it hung up, the last thing that we had to do was check that we didn't mess up any of the LEDs in the process. However, they still lit up very nicely, and that was the construction of the Death Star. Over time, the organization of my Death Star shelf has changed because I've added a lot of Funko Pops to my collection since I put this together almost 1.5 years ago. And as you can see, I have added some 3D printed signs. Some of them I got off of Etsy, and most of them I did make myself. And I also picked up a UV light that I put at the top because that's where I have most of my holographic or glow-in-the-dark pops, and I wanted to give them just a little bit more of an intense glow. So there you guys have it. That is how I constructed my Death Star Funko Pop display shelf. I can link everything that I used down in the description, including the lights and the 3D printed signs. And I hope that this video was very helpful for anyone that has questions on how I put this together. And I've been wanting to make this video for a while, so I'm glad that I finally did it. However, I think that pretty much wraps up this video. So as always, guys, thank you for watching my videos. I'll see you next time. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, as well as subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, or even click to watch one of my other videos, and may the Force be with you.